Yo, Daily Fire, episode 47. If it's trash, turn it off. But if it has value, please share it out for me. Of course, it's brought to you by maxeffortmuscle.com. For all your supplement needs, go to maxeffortmuscle.com. Check out that amino coffee. That's CBD 1000, both great SKUs. And you are listening to the Business and Biceps Network. All right, episode 47. Don't forget what we learned. Man, I'll tell you what, as I was driving to the gym this morning, first off, in Ohio, I know not in everywhere, but Ohio, the gyms are allowed to, be back open if you follow certain guidelines. So super hyped this morning. Like, woke up at 2:40, couldn't sleep, afraid I was going to miss my alarm. Like, I was so excited to get back, and even though it's a little different because the camaraderie is back there, but you can't dap people up and be on top of, crazy lifts, all that, but just being back in the environment, seeing my team, my squad, the 4 a.m. crew, being back in the gym, smelling the fucking rust of the fucking plates, like just being back in my, that zone of that daily routine that I know has led to a successful kind of life within this business, right? But I started to think to myself on the way home, I need to make sure and write down some things that I don't want to forget through this process. And you should really do this too. I think this could be, because I think what happens is in life, we just get busy and then we start to migrate back to the way things were. And sometimes some of the lessons are lost unless you actually write them down. It can be on your notes section. It could be in a notepad, but I would write down 2 or 3 things that along this process, as we return back to normal, that you don't want to forget, that made you a better person throughout this quarantine. I know there's some points that y'all can, rely on. And here's some of mine, right? Time moves so fast, especially when you're a parent, right? Everyone always says your kids grow up so fast. And it's because, all sports seasons are longer. School, sports, work, before you know it, boom. It's like they're in high school. I'm telling you, it's crazy, right? So what we noticed was, as there was no sports, as school was homeschooled, as work, most people weren't going to the office. Didn't the last 2 months just slow way down? And, hopefully we don't see a second wave of this thing. We'll probably never go through this again in our lives. So I think some of the takeaways are, okay, life was dramatically slowed down. It allowed me to then calm my brain and really, really value that extra time even to another level. And so now, as already today, dropping my daughter off by 7:30 for gymnastics, things finishing up with school, the things that I got with work are busy today. Like, I'm fucking slammed today because in baseball and everything's starting back up. So it's like what I have to realize, and one of the main takeaways is when I get that finite slice of time, I have to value it even more than I did before, because I understand now, because we were forced to slow everything down. So as easy as it is to get busy, forget has to be done, that has to be done. I wanted to write that down. So when I got to check my fucking self to say, no. This right here is that slice you get. You used to get 3 times the amount of this, but you don't get that no more. So put your phone down, get your brain right, and this has to be important, right? It's easy to forget. Number 2, human interaction daily with people outside of your family, your immediate family, is something you can't take for granted. Like, straight up, going into the gym today, I don't know if I've ever been in an environment where everybody was up. Everybody was up. Meaning, like, no one wanted to fucking miss today. Everybody was smiling. Everyone was excited. It was like motherfucking Christmas when you was 5 years old. So in a group environment, most of the time you got 1 or 2 guys up, 1 or 2 guys down. As a group, you kind of pull everybody up and then you get the most out of everybody. Everybody was up. The camaraderie, the support, the interaction, and whether you get that at your job site, whether you get that, at your club, at your, wherever you get that at, like, or just your neighborhood, right? Your cul-de-sac, even if you're sitting 6 feet apart and you're having a beer on Friday, but just, shooting the shit, like the human interaction of people that aren't in your family that you actually like being around, it's so easy to take it for granted. It's so easy to take it for granted, but actually like excited to see how they're doing and what, kind of how it's been. And it's just like not taking it for granted. And number 3, the value of adapting within a business standpoint, like understanding that there was people that weren't prepared to work out at home. This is one of the biggest things I saw in my business with the training side of it is people only had body weight. People in New York couldn't get a hold of anything. They had maybe a set of bands. They had only their body weight. They had only 12-pound dumbbells. There were so many scenarios that I saw that I had to adapt. Like people couldn't do the Get Stacked program. They didn't have access to a bar to deadlift. They didn't. And actually, even now, people are talking about some of their gyms don't let them superset. I'm going to have to adapt again and create stuff so you don't have to superset. That you can do a version of this or that mixed together and you can get a good work. Like you have to be able to adapt to people's needs. And what I started to realize is that not only did I have to adapt, I had to create more because the need is there. People need different variations, different things. They still got to be challenged. They still want to push, but they need it. So it's like to up your business within the adaption phase is like, and the value of a person that still is supporting it. If you're not bending over backwards, you're getting left. So at the end of the day, like there's 3 or 4 things that were heavy on my mind that you don't want to forget. And whatever those 3 or 4 things are for you, please write them down because straight up, out of sight is out of mind. And if you get busy in life and you need checked, real easy to go back through them real quick. So take 5 minutes today and do that for me. I'm telling you, it's going to be highly valuable for you now and ongoing into the future. Daily Fire, episode 47. If it's trash, turn it off. If it has value, though, please share it out for me. Brought to you by maxeffortmuscle.com. And you are listening to the Business and Biceps Network. Appreciate y'all. Peace.